That is a quick overview on how the problems of the latency, the DNS problem, the the packet loss issues can be solved without Zscaler. However, this solution introduces a few more issues as well. If we look at the solution itself, by nature, it has two design philosophy. First, the ISP, the Internet Service Provider, the connectivity service is actually separated from the security stack. That's the first issue. Second issue is this service, the whole combination of the security and the ISP is only available if the user are part of the corporate network. So they have to connect to the corporate first from the office, from the home, via network connectivity, and then to consume that service. Because of these two design philosophies, there are 5 problems that we identify. The first issue is, like I mentioned earlier, the backhauling. China is a big country. The data centers that you have might not be enough to cover the shortest path. There could be a chance that the user in north of China have to send their traffic to the south of China and then going to consume that the whole service stack that you have. It could also be the same for the users in offices as well. So that's the first issue of backhauling latency. Second issue is there is actually a compliance risk. Do you know that if you send the traffic through a cross-border ISP, and if that traffic contains some China domestic internet content, it's going to the outside of China and coming back, that's actually against the law. So that's the second compliance risk that we're talking about. For you as a company, as an organization, what you want to do is probably to break out that traffic, to split the traffic before it leaves China. And to do that, you can do it by your own, which is costing you more time, and you still have the risk if you leave anything left and send it over the link, that's still a compliance risk. Or you can leave it to the ISP to do the traffic splitting for you. That will be then a little bit more cost for you. And also the ISP itself, for carrying the traffic towards the global internet, if it still has the sensible information that you're not supposed to have access from within China, you are in the position of compliance risk as well. The third issue that we are looking at is the VPN exposure here. The VPN is here exposed to the whole China internet, also basically also the global internet. That is the attack surface for the hackers. They will be able to see your services running there and further exploit the vulnerabilities. That also means you need to frequently patch the VPN service, but that's a general problem overall. There are some additional issues for having that exposure in China. It's basically the ICP filing. Because you're opening some services in China, you actually need to go through the governmental regulations to make sure you are registered on the ICP filing. And also the public resources, public IP in China is not so easy to get. So these two combined is the extra effort that you need to put on the VPN side of the exposure. There is a fourth problem. That's the resiliency problem. There is actually a trade-off between resiliency and cost. Because of the whole system that you defined in this way, you probably need to think about how do you prepare the backups if something fails. You probably want to start with multiple data center locations because that's the hub of your processing. That's not enough. Once you have multiple locations, you probably want to have multiple security stacks as well to make sure that within each of the location you have multiple security stacks to make sure you have a failover situation for the backup. And for each of the location, you probably want to have multiple internet connectivity links as well. And all of that adding up together is a huge amount of cost that you are bringing to make sure the whole solution is resilient enough. A lot of times, we have seen organizations actually, because of the cost imposed by that, going to a situation of compromising the resilience to save some cost and to find a balance point between there. That means at a certain point, you probably are sacrificing your resiliency due to the cost efficiency. The fifth problem is because the whole system, now looking at it, it's a complexity that is being added up when you are troubleshooting a connectivity issue. You're looking at the LAN, the WAN part, the security stack, and the cross-border ISP. So you have 4 steps, 4 parties to check. If any of that is going down and you have all the redundancy, the backups as well, the failover can be complex for you. And the time of making the right decision of failing over to the right position could be costly for your business. it could mean outage and downtime for your business. So that is the 5 problems that we're looking at